Yeah, snow removal is not so easy on this layout, is it? Have to pretty much tear off all the snow and have to lift the track because those are screwed down. Disassemble this track right here, get underneath it, and move the station, all that kind of stuff. But one of the ideas is to start bringing these old vintage Lionel machines into play and on the layout. And my wife had an idea where possibly on things like the milk car and these, to make them like a static display, we might have a short track that's, with two bumpers on the end. So yeah, theoretically you can put something on it, but the main purpose is to power and operate these. Just a thought. And went up to Michael's and got some stuff, and I had to make fun a little bit because we spent more at Michael's on things like this moss and some other supplies than I did on that entire day of auction, including the food and the gas, to get those 12 cars and those buildings and all that stuff. Fast track. But one thing I have to do on the technical side is stabilize this some more, But also up here, like right there, there's a actuator track. I've got to get rid of that. And there's another one over here somewhere. And I got to get rid of those because on some of the locomotives, it puts a discontinuity there where it breaks the circuit, and they don't like it. And the other thing you'll notice, the track is like really dirty. Hours and hours and hours of runtime, and of course we keep things lubricated and oiled. Means that there's a fair amount of buildup on the track that I have to take off with alcohol. So we're going to do that as well. So this is turning into a wholesale revamping of the layout. I think for celebration purposes, I think what I need to do is to run a mow train around. How about that one? And, get around the whole thing, and we got to pull up a bunch of these lights. I don't know how much of those we're going to use. That was for the village. And that's the other thing is, where to put the village, because we have to have a village. There's no sense in having any kind of trains and operations and manufacturing if you don't have people to enjoy it, right? So this is in the beginning stages, still in the teardown phase, but just sort of coming up with ideas about where to go with the layout. The other thing I want to do is, while I'm cleaning out the track, is I'm going to start taking these and bringing them down to the shop and chop saw off those things. Maybe die grind off these things here where I'm not using them. See, that went in line with the switch, so I couldn't put one there. So either I move the switch and put another support, or I cut this one off with a die grinder. Stuff like that. Details, lots of details. Probably ought to turn them on so they can overwatch things and make sure we're doing the right types of modifications, right? I think another thing I want to do is we have an elevation change in here, and that's caused issue with a very long Williams trains, because the supports for the upper track get pushed in too close to the lower track. And if I can move these here, the things that are underneath the grass, and make more clearance, it'll allow me to run the longer locomotives on that bottom section, even if it doesn't look cool because of the tight radius, but give them the clearance. Stuff like that, it's evolution that you go through. So what are you doing here?
I'm making a river. So I'm just doing it in different colors so that once the plastic is melted and in that, it gives it some texture and color.
Plastic melt, or is it a resin?
It's a plastic melt, I believe. It's just, I don't know if it'll work or not because it's very old. It's been sitting in a box for a very long time, so we'll see if it works.
One of our auction finds?
Yeah.
For doing that kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to have a coal mine.
Right.
And then you're going to work it over across the river. We also have a forest there. We'll have trees.
Right, so that's going to be a forest that's going to kind of extend up here. Then we're going to have an oil well up here.
And then
this is going to be a more mechanical layout than what we normally do. So there's less village, more mechanical stuff this year. Just for fun, because we haven't used any of that stuff.
Yeah. So while she was doing that, I was cutting these vertical supports. I'm going to leave those back there because two of them are used for structure like that. I kind of can't do it easy. But the rest of them we got. And got rid of these little actuator tracks that were sitting right there. And there was one in the back. I think I can zoom up where it was. Yeah, right there. And they were causing little voltage spikes, you know, and drops as the locomotives were crossing them and making them go into reverse sometimes. So they're gone. And they may end up being what actuates cars over here. We'll see. But I need to test this thing and see if I can get the locomotives around without hitting something and derailing. And did I change the grade so much on a curve where it pops off the trucks and stuff like that? Now what happened? So we had to add a wire support in there. Let's see if it'll go around now. All right, one more time here. Let me put the bridge on. This bridge is one of the more clever things that we've done. Allows access. And have a pin for that right there to line it up with the track. Worked pretty good. So had to support that some. And she's putting in the rocks at the base of the river from a little bit of gravel. And like I said before, I'd replaced those action tracks with something different. Put a shim right here. See, these are the toughest locomotives I have. If these get around, anything get around. Put a wire to support that a little bit better. You got to look at the angle as it's coming into the curve. That might be why it's deciding to derail. Let's give it another shot. I'll say that's a success. Well, I think that's it. Darkening is done. Boy, it's a beautiful day. There is not a cloud in the sky. This is the second time I've said that. And we came up to get some stuff for the layout, the model train layout. Figured let's just stop here and see if anything coming through. And look what we have. Oh, Dave Griffin, if you ever watch one of these videos, it's all your fault. Wow.
That'll work, right? There's something like
That's
this, or
amazing.
even something like this.
That's really, really cool.
Something like that.
I see you still have room. You have to have some bridges to bring some over here, right?
Well, eventually it'll stop there so I can work on it. I'll just drive them right into the, right underneath the shelves.
So we're gaining. How about a coal tower? Have a little mine in that mountain. And the river's coming along. We got to try to melt that stuff. I don't know if we're going to do it with epoxy or this stuff that we had gotten at one of the auctions that was supposed to melt into water from beads. Got this at an auction, right?
Old.
Yeah, God only knows how old it is. Heat gun. That poor thing. I remember buying that in 1984, I think it was. Use it.
Doing the job.
Use it for years on the fixing the saws and heating up cases. And now it's melting this crap. Easy water. So now we have a creek. Now I'm going to have to put a couple of pipes down there because we have to have a culvert, right? And coal tower. Bears are back. Got plenty of gravel to make a gravel bed. CP 285. Now there's one coming in from the west that I heard at 291 right before this one came through. And I don't know if I'm going to get him or not. We'll find out. But again, this is East Syracuse. We're in that same parking lot where Tractor Supply Company is. And those signal towers are CP 285. And if you look down at the very end, that's where I usually am, where that blue Dodge pickup truck is. That's right around milepost 285. The difference between it and control point.